Good afternoon, I think. It's good to be in Scotland, especially on a good day. I am Professor Madjid Merabti. I'm the Dean of Sciences for the College of Sciences in the University of Sharjah in Dubai. And I've been there for nearly 4 years now. But prior to that, I worked all my life in the UK at various universities, University College London, Lancaster University, and the last 24 years in Liverpool John Moores University. Again in IT, computer science and security on the whole. Throughout my career, I've been mostly towards systems, so looking at operating systems, networking, and security, and how to build the systems. In the last few years, in particularly when I was in Liverpool, I created the National Center for Critical Infrastructures Protection. And that one took three ends: human factors, technical computer systems, and security, and how one could bring them together to protect national critical infrastructures. Since I moved to Dubai, my issue has been mostly the developing of a new research infrastructures, development of people and humanities. As the Dean for College of Sciences, I'm responsible for the Department of Physics, Chemistry, Biology, Computer Science, Mathematics, so all the basic sciences. And within that, we're carrying on actually building a new team in security, but specifically we're also looking at UAE Space Agency to look at them for support, for launch support and systems, and how to take it further. So very, very exciting journey for me so far. The UAE and Dubai in particular, and Sharjah, are a hub for many, many nationalities. So the type of practices are from all over the world. And sometimes it's a challenge trying to get across the different cultures. So that's actually very interesting. One didn't count that too much for it. If you look at Europe and UK in particular, they're rather more homogeneous. The technology in Dubai or in UAE in particular are sometimes a contradiction in that many of the features they do are way, way ahead of everyone else. So when we talk about latest craze about big data and surveillance and data, all the roads are extremely modern, all the technologies are there. But the changes to the management are perhaps a bit more of a challenge on the humane side when you come to bring all these teams from all over the world to work together. And it's exciting to be involved in those things. I think the technologies one looked at are usually continuations, in all honesty, because in research we tend to go in cycles. We looked at operating systems, and then we looked at centralized systems, and then we look at distributed. Now, in some ways, we went back again, what we call the cloud. Cloud is a centralized management. It's all over the place, but for the users, it's centralized management. So these issues are to do, how do you manage centralizations at a very, very large scale? Because if you talk about IoT, Internet of Things, or Internet Anywhere, we are talking about billions of devices that have a possibility and the opportunity to be connected all together. How does one manage that? If you look at a country, say UAE, they're looking at networking all of those devices, looking at creating infrastructures which is integrated for security, for everyday's business. And that is a very interesting and exciting one, because UAE is small enough to do experimentation. And it's new enough to actually do experimentation live, which would be much, much more difficult, say, to do it in the UK, the National Health Service, because of 50 years of existence or more. And then the technologies are out at different levels. If you go to Dubai or Sharjah or Abu Dhabi, everything is new. In fact, most of the cities is 20 years old. And therefore, one has got the possibilities to do experimentation at a much larger scale and a much faster pace. And that's interesting and exciting. I think the one that perhaps we should pay a lot more attention to, even though as a technology evangelists, is the human factors and how the young generations are changing on us. This morning I had the privilege and the opportunity to speak to the audience about digitalize human memories and the IoT and security and how it involves that, but also to observe young people and how they're changing. We worry about security, but young people put everything out there. Their personal life, their food, their likes, and wherever. Young people are now more and more interested in communication than perhaps in-depth reading or writing on others. how do we move to that new kind of generations, and how do we have a connect between the older generation like myself and the new ones? Because to make it work, we have to make it work for them, or they have to make it work for themselves. And that perhaps is a challenge that we need to pay a lot more attention to that we haven't done in the past.